We back in the building, man. Fly Free Sports, man. Another week. Some more issues to tackle with this NBA talk. Ben, what's going on, man?
Hey man, yeah, I'm coming in from my phone. This PC, I don't know what it's doing, but I made it.
It's all good, man. Audible, like you said, audible, man.
Yep.
Gotta call it audible. But yeah, man, it's been, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, Ben. We've been dropping the ball a little bit on these
Yeah.
picks, man.
Has it? Have we been dropping the ball, or has the teams that we
You're
picked
right.
dropped the ball?
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right, man. Like it's been
Oh,
it's been nuts. I've never been this wrong in a playoff before. Like I'm mad that this is my first like NBA playoffs that I'm doing, and this shit is just like it's making me look bad. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah, it's been one of those playoffs, man. The least expected probably Final Four teams left that you could
hmm.
possibly imagine. Like
Yep.
um except for the Celtics. But how did you feel about the New York and Indiana series? I know New York had a lot of injuries and stuff, but how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I think Indiana ultimately, I think just won a war of attrition there. Um, they've been playing inspired basketball, I mean, even going back to in the regular season down the stretch to get what the position way they did. Ultimately, they just won the war of attrition. Jalen Brunson, he's back. He's got that Batman indomitable will, but that will only take you so far. So they were able to outlast the Knicks in that series. So kudos to them. Not something that either of us saw coming,
Mm-hmm.
but they they show that they can. They're not going to shy away from the big moments. And they were able to close out that game seven on the road. Like, I mean, how could you really be mad at that, right?
Right.
Injuries aside, you close out a game seven on the road. Like that very rarely happens. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and they shot some wild shit like 70 something percent from the floor. It's like a record for highest field goal percentage in a playoff game in history. Like
Hmm.
that kind of shit you can't forecast. You can't forecast that. You can't forecast obviously the injuries the Knicks suffered.
Hmm.
So with that being said, it's like you said, how the hell can you not? You know what I mean? They showed up in Madison Square Garden for a game seven and just shot the lights out,
Hmm.
literally.
Yep. Yep.
So if I'm gonna be wrong on something, it might as well be something so outlandish like that. That you know
Hmm.
who was right, and unless you're a Pacers fan, then I don't see how you could have been right about that
Right.
series.
Yeah. I'm sure that Caitlin Clark has something to do with this. I haven't figured it out yet, but she's got that magic, man. It's bleeding over to the Pacers.
It need to bleed into the fever because they 0-5 right now. They looking kind of bad. Like,
uh,
have you watched one of those games yet?
I haven't seen any of them yet. No,
Ben,
but I
you
mean,
would think you're watching like their team specifically. Like you would think you're watching some middle school girls play basketball. I mean, like
man,
she's
yeah.
dropping passes to them, and they're just fumbling passes. I'm talking about like wide open. They fumbling passes. If they don't
Hmm.
fumble the pass, they're getting the ball, going up for a layup, missing the layup. It's like, and you hate to like say that because people gonna make it seem like, oh, you're making an excuse for Caitlin Clark, but it's the truth. Like I'm sitting
Hmm.
here watching exactly what's going on in these games. Yeah, she's having her struggles from time to time, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's a whole nother story. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
But
I was about to say that's a whole. You
yeah,
don't get me started on that. I got 20 minutes of stuff to say about that. I'm not going to say tonight. So
man, it's been ridiculous. But yeah, the Pacers they've done what they've been supposed to do. Like they
hmm.
beat the Bucks, who are an injured team, and they beat the Knicks, who are an injured team. So
Yep.
and they had the most prolific offense scoring wise in the NBA. So I mean, you put two and
Hmm.
two together, they're in the conference finals.
Yep.
Um, but the other series, Boston, Cleveland, I don't think we need to spend too much time on that. It was
No.
very uneventful.
Hmm.
Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. So Boston advanced there. Out west, now this was very surprising to me. I picked OKC to beat Dallas. I think you did as well.
Hmm. Yep.
And the co-stars didn't show up, man. Chet didn't play as well as I thought he would. Jalen Williams also didn't play as well as I thought he would.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just not enough contributions. Josh Giddey, nothing, just absolutely nothing. Who else? Isaiah Joe, here and there, he had a couple shots go down, but it's just not enough help basically for Shea is what happened in the end.
Yeah, just down the stretch, the guys just faded. They weren't able to maintain the momentum they had coming into that series, and really even the first part of the series, they weren't able to maintain that level of play. So Jalen Williams, we thought maybe he was overachieving, and how good he played in that first series, and then you start this series like, okay, no, he's for real, but then you see that okay, he was overachieving and that he can't sustain that level of play. Same with Chet. I've always believed that when you that skinny, man, you're a liability. I don't care. I don't care who you are. You can't be that skinny and not be a liability in some way on the court.
Right.
I don't think other than Dennis Rodman, I don't think I've ever seen a skinny person be good at defense. Like it's just,
Yeah.
And that's Dennis Rodman is a freakish athlete, which is why he was able to do it. But yeah, it's just, bro, no. But I was still surprised that they weren't able to close out Dallas, and how inconsistently Luka especially had been, how effective they were early in the series at kind of bottling him up. But yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely surprising, especially game 6 where they had that big ass lead. It's been like I don't know what the problem is in the playoffs. Like everybody's blowing 20-point leads.
Yeah.
It's like consistent. Like no lead is say. I know you hear that a lot. No lead is safe in today's NBA. Like the way these guys hit the 3-ball and they go on these ridiculous runs, these 20-0 runs. It's like you never saw this back in the day. Like once the game got to 17, 18 points, like the probability of you losing was very high. Now it's like that shit is like 5 points to today's NBA.
Yeah, it's a combination. It's the style of play today. So teams are taking shots more quickly. So the more quickly you take shots, the more shots you get.
Right.
Right. So you're giving me more opportunities to score when you're scoring quickly. And then, teams are shooting the 3-ball 30, 35, 40, 50 times a game. And if you're hot from 3 and the team that you're against is not, they go down, miss a 3, long rebound, outlet 3, miss a 3, outlet. Like you can get close 12 points of distance in 4 possessions, right? It happens all the time. So that's something that is you got to look out for. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's been so normal starting in the Lakers and Nuggets series. The Lakers did it a couple times, then the Nuggets and the Wolves series. Like all these series, you can count at least one game where a team blew a 20-point lead. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But as far as that series, I think OKC kind of I'm really not surprised. Like I picked them to win, but I'm not surprised because they're young. This is their first playoff together. So when you look at from the standpoint of Luka's over there, and Luka's been to the conference finals, he has that kind of experience. I know the rest of the team is pretty young, but they have a few guys on that team like Tim Hardaway, guys like that who have been there before. So, and obviously Kyrie with the championship experience that he has. It's not surprising when you look at it. I just thought that they had enough. They had more weapons and more, they had more of an arsenal to beat Dallas than. But obviously they're not ready. So I think they'll be good for next year for this experience, though.
Yeah, for sure.
So shout out to Dallas, man. Like I picked against them that series, but they won. I did pick them in the Clippers series, if that means anything to all the Mavs fans. My bad. You know what I mean? But hey, but Nuggets Wolves. Now the last time we did a show, it was 2-0 Wolves, and a lot happened since then.
Yeah.
The Nuggets go crazy, win 3 games in a row. Nikola Jokic is back to MVP form. Jamal Murray, he every game or two, he's Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then they get to game 7 after taking a 3-2 lead in the series, get up by 20 points in the second half, and the champions now give up a 20-point lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It lost me money in the process. Like I was so damn mad the other night when they blew that game. Like, I can't even describe how mad I was. I went to sleep so pissed off. Like really?
Listen, me and you got to start putting our money on day trading instead of these games, man.
Yeah, it's over with.
I think it's less
I'm done.
stress.
I told my girl I'm done. I'm done gambling. It's over with. Like that was enough for me. Like, it's over with. I'm dead serious. It's over
Oh.
with. Like that shit made me so. I shouldn't feel like this because of a game. Like, I was pissed. Like these niggas blew a 20-point lead. Like, and you saw it once it got to 1 point at the end of the third quarter. Like I knew it was over when Ant hit that because Anthony Edwards had a horrible shooting game. Like disgusting. Like he was
Right.
missing damn near everything he took. So
Yep.
when they withered that lead down towards the end of the third quarter, I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? So he hit that 3 to cut it to 1 at the buzzer going into the fourth. I said, yeah, my money is gone. Like I knew it. It was over, man. Like I watched that whole fourth quarter, like knowing like this shit, there's no way they're gonna recover from this. Like the momentum had already built up, and then Rudy Gobert hits a fucking turnaround fadeaway with like 3-4 minutes left in the yo. It's over, man. How'd you feel about that game?
Yeah, it was kind of like hard to believe that it was happening. Defending champs, game 7 built up a big lead. Okay, you're about to put the game away like you've done the last 14 times you've had a 20-point lead, right?
At home.
And they just down the stretch, it just collapsed. It's just like what is this game that we're watching? Right? What is this league that we are what is this? This is not like any other time that I remember watching basketball. It's I was prepping for the game for the show tonight. I made a mention of this a few episodes ago that the last 5 years we've had 5 different champions, and this year's going to make 6 because Denver's now eliminated, and none of these teams have won. None of them won at all except for Boston, and it's been 15 years since they won. So we're going to have our 6th new champion in a row. That hasn't happened since like the 70s. So if you want to know what the vibe of 70s basketball was like, I mean, there's a lot of similarities.
Right.
There's no 3-point shot back then, but there's a lot of similarities between I guess if you want to call it parody,
parody's back. It's back.
Yeah, but but you still have super teams that are out there. They just are performing so inconsistently that none of them are able to really get traction. So
I think they're getting
Golden State was the last dynasty that we had, and we've already said in the last episode they're done. So
yeah, they're finished. I think the problem with these super teams, they're just throwing anybody together. Like niggas don't even have point guards, and they just throwing niggas on teams. Like Phoenix Suns come to mind.
Yeah. I don't know what's in that thought process, but yeah.
I don't even think you can call that a super team. Is Bradley Beal enough of a star for that to be a super team?
Not now. I think that when the deal was going down, there was a thought that okay, this guy's something, and he's not. So
yeah, it's just nasty, man. Like I don't know, man. That Denver shit. I just want to say, Michael Porter Jr. is the sorriest motherfucker I've ever seen in my entire life. I've seen so many people on the internet. What they call him, Michael, the possession stops here, Porter. That is exactly who he is. This nigga takes bad shot after bad shot after bad. It's like, yo, he goes up. He rarely drives. When he does drive, he goes up so soft. You're
Right.
6'10". Hammer that shit on somebody. Paul. Like, I was so frustrated watching him play in that game 7. Like, this nigga, like, he is the epitome of finesse. He's soft. That nigga's soft.
He's in the soft guy era. Is that what you're saying?
Like, oh my God, man. Like, even when they were up big, he's still taking these bad. I'm like, he gonna let him back in the game. He taking these bad shots. And I don't want to let Jokic off the hook. Jokic took a lot of threes that he shouldn't have took. I think he was like 1 for 8, 1 for 9 from 3 in that last game. It's just like, why do you shooting threes? Like, into the fourth quarter, too. Like, just still shooting them.
Right. Yep.
He was letting Cat body him up. Like, he trying to post up Cat moving him off his spot. I'm like, yo, when the hell did Cat become all defense? Like, he's all defensive team, all defensive first team all of a sudden. Like, come on, man. Like, this is crazy. Fucking Nas Reed going crazy, hitting big shots, getting put back dunks, and Jaden McDaniels. Oh my God. Like, he's really the reason they won game 7. He the one that was hitting all the shots that kept him in the game long enough for them to, actually get going.
Yeah. So, I said going into the series that Cat was going to get exposed in a major way in this series. And I was right, but not in the way that I thought. Because Cat got exposed, at least, if nothing else in that game 7, as a clutch performer, which is, who saw that coming?
Right.
So is that something that so again, is this something where he's kind of evolved and this is his new form, a la Anthony Edwards? Like, Anthony Edwards is not a fluke. This is his new form now, right? That's what I believe. It took me 2 series to get there because I'm like, okay, I saw what you did first series. Let's see what you do with this one. And then he just is like elevated his game. So, but is he kind of, this is your new form, or is this like a Jalen Williams situation where, you could kind of turn it on for a couple games, but then you lose momentum. So,
yeah, I think, we're going to see. We're going to see how this series plays out. I think having Anthony Edwards ascend to the level that he's ascended to is helping out Cat tremendously. He doesn't have that burden of being the guy. He doesn't, he can kind of play his role and flourish in that role. So,
I think that's really important. The psychological advantage they have now, with Cat kind of being in that supplementary role, that suits his personality much better.
Yes, takes a lot of the pressure off him. He could just hoop. You got to worry about being the guy and being the blame, because now if they lose, it's gonna be like, oh, what did Ant do? You know what I'm saying? So,
right. Yep.
Like you said, psychologically, that's a big thing. Ant hasn't played well these last 2 games, like game 7 and then game 1 of the conference finals. I don't know, man. Maybe it's getting to him, getting deeper into the playoffs. But
he looked pretty tired at the end of game 1. Like, there were several moments where he was, that's like, he looked very fatigued, and I'm like, he looks tired, but I know it was a hard game 7, but usually it doesn't. They had a couple of days rest, so he shouldn't be that tired from fatigue from the series. Like, you might be fatigued mentally because that was a tough series, but like, it's unusual. But then, like you said, you're chasing around probably the fastest man in the NBA.
You chasing around Kyrie for all those 48 minutes, man. That's tough. And then you gotta still score on the other end. So that's rough, man.
Yeah, he's living that guard life.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I do anticipate some adjustments being made there.
He's definitely finding out as you advance in the playoffs. It does get tougher, man. And last round he didn't have to worry so much about guard play. Now you got 2 of the best guards in the NBA that you have to defend. So it's a whole new thing that you're dealing with in this series from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, it was really odd. I know we haven't started. Well, I guess we kind of started talking about the current series. It's they got killed in the paint. The bigger team got destroyed in the paint. The bigger team had lower field goal percentage, got beaten in the rebounds game, have fewer blocks.
Yep.
Y'all the bigger team, but you're being out big. Like,
Right.
how
So
is the bigger team getting out big?
so I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think that's sustainable?
Um, I know. I think defensively they're a better team than that. Um, I think they're really great at making those adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, Dallas shot 50%. I don't expect the team to be able to do that every night. Like that's not sustainable. Um, what I think is sustainable is um, Luca being able to pick up Kyrie if he's down, and Kyrie being able to pick up Luca if he's down.
Yes.
Like both of them will not suck in the same game.
Right. Right.
That will never, ever, ever happen.
Very, very low probability for that.
Right. That you will never see that. You won't see a Tatum and Brown sucking combination. Like that's not going to
Man,
happen with them.
man. It's
Um,
crazy. It's crazy.
yeah, and that's I don't know. I know we're getting to predictions later, so I'm gonna save that for my predictions later. But yeah, that's my feelings about that.
Yeah. I think I could be wrong, but last night I think that was like the first time where they both like went for 30 plus in the same game in the playoffs. I could be wrong, but it feels like either, like you
That's
said, it's
probably
always
true.
been one of them that's always been on and the other one's been off. That might
Hmm.
have been the first time they combined for 60 plus points. I could
Hmm.
be wrong. I have to look it up, but
Yeah.
that when they're like that, that's tough to beat them because somebody else is gonna stay. If PJ Washington is hitting with them, or
Hmm.
Green or Hardaway or two of those guys, if two more of those guys are hitting like that, man, that's tough. And I know
Hmm.
Minnesota is the best defensive team in the league, but they got their hands full for sure.
Yeah. 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 They do.
Yeah. So and out east, uh Boston and Indiana.
Hmm.
Shit. I'm I want to I want to say like I'm disinterested in the series, but I'd be lying if I said I'm not gonna watch it. Obviously, I got the game
Hmm.
on right now.
Yep. As do I.
Uh, Indiana, man, just stupid. Like, did you see game one? They choked that game away with 8 seconds left.
So they're poor, unfortunate souls.
You cannot afford to throw a game away like that. Like on the road, perfect opportunity to steal home court and get greedy in game two. You cannot throw the inbound pass. Like that's no risky inbound passes. Call timeout.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to force the ball in when you got a timeout left? Like that was disheartening for me because the Celtics, as you know how I feel about them, they fucking choked so much. And they did it again. They choked again for real. Like
Hmm.
if we're being honest, they looked like shit in game one in the second
Hmm.
half. And they gave the game up. Indiana just didn't want it. So the Celtics are proven to be who I thought they were, even in wins. Jaylen
Hmm.
Brown hits a tough shot. They go to overtime. The rest is history. You know the rest. But
Right.
how did you feel about game one?
Yeah, I think Boston has, at least this season, has had an uncanny way of playing poorly and still winning. And they've got a perfect opponent that will let them off the hook in that way. We know that Tibbs and that Knicks defense would not be giving them that level of leeway, but this team certainly will allow them to do that. And
Yep.
I'm not surprised if this is a short series. It would not surprise me if this went like 5 games, right? Um, just because Boston just has this luck about them where they're able to just find the right moments and the right matchups at the right time and eke out a win.
Mm-hmm.
They just have this way of, and Tatum and Brown again. There's some high highs and low lows, but in certain moments you get just enough. Right? They play just well enough to be able to get them over the hump.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially the way it's lined up for them this playoffs. Like they have not been tested at all. Like there's been no adversity. The teams they've been playing haven't been good. It's just like, damn, man. I want them to be exposed so bad, but they're playing against teams that aren't capable of exposing them.
Right.
Now, I may disagree with it being a short series. I think Boston, they're gonna choke at least a couple games in this series. I know it. Like
Well,
I know it.
they choked one and end up winning it anyway.
I think they're gonna lose a couple that they choke away. Like I just because I think Indiana's good enough offensively to force their hand. I don't think Boston is. I don't think they're especially on the road. I don't think they're good enough to overcome the mistakes that they make on the road against Indiana. Like I think Indiana will. They're gonna win at least one of them. They're gonna at least win at least one road game, and they're gonna win at home.
Right.
So it's going to be up to Boston when it gets later in the series, like Game 6. Boston is going to have an opportunity to close them out, and they better close them out in that Game 6.
Yep.
So yeah, I just think that's how I see the series going, man. Like
Mm. Yeah.
I don't trust Boston. I don't trust Boston. I never have, and I probably never will, man.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today. Well, actually, when I started prepping for the show before the Dallas Minnesota game last night, because I was like, okay, who do I think
Mhm.
the favorite is now? And I'm like, well, the thing that's been the most consistent this series has been the Minnesota defense. So I was like, maybe those are my choice. And then they get killed in the paint. Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that NBA, like, there's a conspiracy where they're trying to make us look bad.
Yeah, I can't remember a playoffs where I've been off like that, like so much, so frequently. It's just it's kind of crazy to me. I haven't picked a wrong series. I haven't picked more than 2 or 3 wrong series in the playoffs. I probably did that shit in the first round.
Yeah. But
Um,
even you look at this, like, there is not, people might say Boston is a clear cut favorite,
no,
but based on what's happened in the series, I don't think there's a clear cut favorite
there isn't.
in this series. I mean, I was more confident about it before the playoffs started, but my clear cut favorite got eliminated. So I think so. To your point, I think that's why there's been so many. We've been so off in looking at the series is because just the unpredictability of these teams, and it almost feels like there is a vacuum of power at the top because your big faces and your big stars are not in the playoffs. So
Hmm.
playoffs kind of feels like there's a power vacuum where we're trying to figure out. This is the first playoffs I remember where there's not a face of the playoffs, right? It's not obvious to us. Like last year, you kind of felt like Joker was the face of those playoffs.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember the last time I was watching a game and anytime the Spurs were in the finals, Duncan was the face of those playoffs, right?
Yeah,
Um, is the one exception could be when the Heat beat the Spurs and LeBron was the man, but Duncan is the face of that series, So yeah, anyway, that's my take on that.
yeah, you're right about that as well. There isn't one. I mean, they make Ant the face as they're trying to make him the face of the NBA. So they make like he's like
Mhm.
I guess he's the position holder right now for the face left in the playoffs, but we just gotta let it play out, man. You already know how I feel about them anointing him as the guy, so we'll see how that plays out. I don't know, man. I don't. As far as that series goes, though, I do believe that Minnesota will get it together and win like 6 games.
Mhm.
I was gonna pick them in 6 games before the series starts, so I'm not gonna go back on that, even
Yeah,
though they lost. Um, we just happened to do the show a couple days late, but
yeah.
I I do have Minnesota winning the series in 6. Now I'm a little bit less confident than that. I'm a little less confident in that. Watching last night, but it is what it is. I think defensively they'll right the ship and they'll get it together. They just need McDaniels to keep playing. If McDaniels keeps playing the way he's been playing the last couple games, they shouldn't have any problems, man. I think he's enough. Nikhil Alexander Walker, he's been playing pretty well. He hasn't been shooting well as of late, the last few games, but I think when they need him, he'll be there. Rudy Gobert, I mean, he's up and down. I don't really trust that nigga either, but we'll see, man. I think, but I do have them winning.
I'm gonna go a different direction on that.
Ooh.
I think that so I remember coming on the show the week after we had gone to Dallas for the eclipse. I remember telling you that they were playing on one day. We were in the restaurant and they ended up winning the game with like a buzzer beater or something. And just the bond and the camaraderie that Kyrie had with the team
Mm-hmm.
is like unlike anything I've ever seen. Because he's like one of the most like isolating type people.
Uh-huh.
I've been watching him closely. I've been hearing him talk at the press conferences, and he really talks like someone who's truly grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he on all of that hotep shit. He's not trying to, like, you know, put the Muslim agenda on your face and wear it. Like he's just out there, a veteran leader of the team playing basketball, and just he has such a mature approach to the game and the perspective of what's happened. He's just a different player, and I believe in this Kyrie. I believe that this is the final form. This isn't a fluke. I think that he has turned a corner. He and Lucas have a camaraderie between top star players I haven't seen in a really long time. Uh, and so Kyrie's the best player, in my opinion, in this series. So
Mm.
pick the team with the best player and go with the Mavs. Um, you know, I think 7 game series is in the cards for this one. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Mavericks.
Nice. That's a heavy statement saying he's the best player in the series. That's heavy. With Luca out there and Ant on the other side, everybody think he's, Michael Jordan, but yeah. So that's a heavy statement though. That's a heavy statement. Especially coming from you, cause I know how you feel about Kyrie. Like you ain't never really been like a big Kyrie guy. So
Yeah,
even though he's a dookie.
he yes, yeah, he is. I just see that he's not that hero ball is all about me, dude. That's not been his approach to basketball this year. He's like he is becoming that player that Coach K always wanted him to be, right?
Right.
So I see a change in him, and so that's why I'm going that direction. Now, if he hasn't really changed, then I'm not taking the credit for anything that happened.
He's evolving, man, for sure. Like or he has evolved.
Yeah, but I
Smart.
mean, there isn't it's not undisputed, right? There's an argument that Luca's the best player or Ant's the best player, right? That's something that is debatable. So I don't say that with any type of you like ubiquity, like
Right.
so. Yeah,
Yeah, I think him playing in Dallas, Mark Cuban may have a lot to do with that, and just the structure. Like he definitely looks like he's found a home. He looks like he's happy there. Maybe this is the final stop for him in his career. Hopefully it is. Hopefully he finds that kind of that piece that he needs, and like you said, he's hooping
yeah,
unselfishly and all that. So I'm happy for Kyrie, man. And if he can get away from Kevin Durant and start doing shit like this, then I love to see it, man. So now we know it wasn't Kyrie's fault in Brooklyn. Uh and he back. Kyrie is back, man. Uncle Drew. Shout out to Kyrie, man. I always like Kyrie's game. I just yeah, I think Dallas is a very scary team when those two guys are clicking, man. That shit is almost unfair if him and Luca are clicking at the same time.
right, yeah,
Only question with them was, could they find the bigs to supplement their problem in the paint? And they got the young boys out there, Gafford and Lively. So
yeah,
we'll see if those two guys will be able to sustain their level of play. We'll see. PJ Washington, he's been a very, very big addition. And I called that when they first got him. I remember we had the show and I was like, I like PJ Washington being in Dallas. Like that is a very slept on move for them. Because I watched PJ Washington in Charlotte, and that's just a bad team. That's a dumpster fire. So
right,
I knew if he went to any type of contender where he could just play a role, he'd thrive. So shout
yeah.
out to PJ Washington. I like his game too.
Yeah, shout out to you, PJ, and I hope you stop dating the Instagram models. But
Man, please, please, man. Please, you done enough damage, man. This nigga got a baby by Brittany Renner. Like, yo.
yeah, I feel sorry for you, bro. Actually, I don't, because you knew what you were getting into.
Mhm.
You knew that you were getting in a swamp with alligators. So no, I don't feel sorry for you.
I don't know what it is with these niggas. They just can't turn it down. Like, y'all got so much money, y'all could get any woman y'all want, but you pick the one that you know everybody been with. You could import some hoes. Like, you could do whatever you want to do. Like, you could. I don't get it.
I
But
do understand. I think I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was one of the NFL rookie quarterbacks was dating damn, what's the name? Amber Rose. I think it was CJ Stroud. It was one of those guys.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. He wasn't dating her though. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah, it was CJ Stroud.
they was booed up. So I don't
He
know
was.
if it was a
He was.
transaction.
Yeah, he was saying that like they were at the same. Well, she was saying they were at the same function. You know, I guess one of those parties where all the celebrities be at, or whatever the shit was. So like, I guess she was there and needed a ride somewhere. And so she's like, he was just man enough to give me a ride, and that was it. It wasn't really nothing to see there. I'm like, I
Okay.
don't know.
All right.
He a young nigga. He a young nigga. Like, she know what she doing though. Like, Amber Rose done been around for a long time.
Well, that's when I saw it and the thing was okay, maybe they're dating. I kind of understood it because it's like, you know, I'm telling on myself a little bit here. If I had a chance to to date Melrose Fox as old as she is,
Oh, this nigga said Melrose Fox.
so let me explain, right? If you've been jacking off to somebody for years and then you get a chance to date him in real life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying,
Melrose Fox is crazy
I
though.
know she old, but it's like if you see her in person and
Nah,
you,
like
I feel like I've known you all my life.
listen. If nobody else don't feel you, I feel you. You're not alone. You're not
like,
alone.
like Melrose, I've known you for years. You just met me.
Like, the Melrose Fox name drop is crazy. Like, Melrose Fox was one of my favorites. No, I'm not gonna hold you.
Hey man, I just and it wouldn't be an old man if he didn't drop an actress from the '90s and 2000s, right? I'm not going to drop nobody current, right? Because I don't watch porn anymore.
I,
I'm so glad that
yo,
wife and your sister don't watch the show.
shout out to Melrose Fox. Like, yo, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man,
Damn. Wow. I don't even know where to go from there.
I don't even know what we were talking about. I don't remember it anymore.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we talk about PJ, but
Oh,
yeah,
you see, it's your fault, PJ.
you see how niggas get pulled in like that easy. It's just that easy. Damn.
Man,
Yeah. So what we got going on? Yeah, Boston. Them niggas on a crazy run. I remember it was like 25-20. That last time I looked down at my phone, it was 25-20 Indiana. Now it's 32-27 Boston. So yeah, they on like a 12-2 run. Not good.
I mean, but this is again, this is Boston. Like they just find a way every game. They just find a way.
They're gonna get exposed. I don't give a damn which team they play from the West. They're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I think the West is definitely winning. Whoever wins this Dallas and Timberwolves series is definitely gonna win. My mind is already made up. You know, I saved the amount of games for the show when we get there, but
Yeah.
I don't believe in Boston. I don't think I'm ever picking them niggas in no series. Sorry. Like, but
Yeah. It's I think whatever Boston is going to be in the finals is the one we're going to see in this series. Right? They're not going to play the same way they played in the last series.
mm-hmm.
They're not going to get there if they play mediocre this series like they did last series. They're going to do the same thing in the finals. So it's not like we're going to see them turn it on in the
Right.
finals. Whatever, if they decide to get their shit together this series, we'll see them carry that momentum into the finals. But it just really depends on what they want to do.
Hmm.
Like that was just a bad shot that Jalen Brown took, but it went in anyway. Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like just
Jalen Brown is just another one of them niggas. Like I used to believe in Jalen Brown. Now, I not so much. I know he hit the big shot in game one, but he's another one. He's becoming. I don't want to say like Jason Tatum for me, but he's definitely a co-star for sure. He's not a number one. I used to think he was a number one, but no,
he's a man. Coach, they just refs do not call travels anymore.
nope.
I think that like players like Jalen Brown are they are the NBA's version of like AAU boys. Like that's how he plays. He plays like he's in the AAU league. Kevin Durant is like the OG of AAU.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right. You're
he is
right.
patron saint of AAU in the NBA. And like Jalen just strikes me as that guy. And like again, going back to Kyrie, that's pretty much what Kyrie was. He played like an AAU dude, but I've seen a shift in his mentality where he's not approaching the game like that anymore. Kobe went through the same thing. Like he was all AAU. Came on, but he developed that Mamba mentality over time and learned how to work within a system. Had Phil Jackson, like
Hmm.
he evolved his game.
Yeah, because when he first got to LA, he didn't give a damn about no system, no nothing. I just want to get mine like that. That's why he ain't play. So
Yeah,
that is crazy.
yeah.
Um, I wanted to ask you something else. Oh, they had the recently they had the draft combine for the guys coming into the league, and all week all you heard was about Bronny James. Man, I want to get your take about, for one, where do you think he'll go? Like as far as I don't mean which team. I mean like how high in the draft you think he'll go, and how do you think he'll how do you think he'll perform in the NBA in his first season? Because he's obviously getting drafted.
So I don't know what the current momentum is, but based on what I've seen and the reports and from people reporting what scouts have said, that as of a couple weeks ago, the scouts were saying it's highly unlikely that he would get drafted, and the only team that might consider drafting him will be the Lakers for obvious reasons. Um, although I don't know that I agree with that. I think that he's getting way too much media exposure to go undrafted. Um,
Mhm.
I think that there will be a team that will take a flyer on him, and I don't think there's any universe where the Lakers see James on the board when they pick at number 57 and don't take him. Like they're not going to pass Bronny for a second round draft pick, right?
Right.
There's not any other player that's in the draft that will be able to give them a more guaranteed benefit than Bronny.
Right.
Like this, you don't. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not going to be anybody good enough that the difference in talent won't be high enough for you to justify passing on Bronny at that point.
Hmm. Yeah.
In terms of what type of pro he is, Bronny is not. He's not an NBA player. He's not. He doesn't have NBA level talent.
Mm-mm.
Um, he may have a great career in coaching, but you know, he doesn't. He's not going to really see the floor very much if he gets drafted.
Yeah.
He,
I
he plays like his dad, but he's 6'1". So you can't you if you're going to be that size, you have to be a certain speed. You have to have a certain amount of foot speed.
hmm
A small guard in the NBA, and he doesn't. He doesn't have that small guard type speed, and he's not big enough to play bully ball like his dad does.
hmm
So yeah, he's not going to be able to get open. and he's going to be a liability on defense. So yeah, I don't see much of an NBA future for Bronny, not as a player.
Mm. Yeah, I told niggas I was gonna reserve judgment because how I feel about LeBron, and and no matter what I say about Bronny, it's gonna come off like, oh, you don't like LeBron, so of course you're not gonna like his son. Like you gonna hear that type of
He's
talk.
just being here, so whatever.
It's just you can't be real no more nowadays. I know how today's times, if you telling the truth, you hating. If you don't agree with everybody else, you hating. I think you said a lot. Um, I don't think I don't think he's an NBA player. I just don't. Now, whether he develops into that over time with NBA, facilities and
Mm,
constant work on his game, depending on if he goes to the right culture, guys helping him,
yeah.
right coaches situation, right trainer. Of course, he'll have a good trainer because LeBron is LeBron.
Hmm.
Um, Whether all those things add up to him developing as a player remains to be seen. But as he currently is right now, there's no way that he would be drafted into the NBA if his last name wasn't James. If he was not LeBron James Jr.,
Right. Yep.
he would not be drafted into it wouldn't even be a discussion. Not only would he not be drafted, he wouldn't even be talked about as a player, as a prospect.
Hmm. Yep.
Now, if you say this shit out loud, especially me, and niggas know my history about talking shit about LeBron. Like if I say this, I even told niggas on Facebook, like I'm not gonna speak on Bronny James. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. But I had to do it on the show just because, man, I gotta be real. I'm gonna keep it real how I feel. Like, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before about players. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be nothing new. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to put my opinion out there and be wrong, but I'm not mad at being wrong if that's what's currently happening. What the facts are what they are. So I'm going off of that. Now
Right.
if he does something to change that, then okay, cool. Then I have no problem with being wrong. But I think you said it, man. He's just not an NBA player, but he will. Personally, now as far as what round, I think he's gonna go in the first. I think somebody's gonna take him in the first round.
Okay.
I think somebody's gonna take him like late in the first round. I really do. I think somebody's gonna jump out there just for the lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like the LeBron James lottery ticket. I think somebody's gonna jump out there in the first round. I really do. And what was crazy is I saw people talking about, you think the Hawks should take him number one? I'm like, what? Like it was serious discussion. Like niggas is like, yo, you could get LeBron with the first pick. Essentially, you get LeBron with the first pick if you just take his. So you're willing to mortgage your future on a 40. LeBron's gonna be 40 in this season. By the time December rolls around, he'll be 40 years old.
And
So
there's
you
no, it's not like he's signed a contract saying he's going to automatically go where his son ends up.
right. That's what I'm saying for the lottery ticket. Like it's just a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like just that thought process of niggas like, yo, they should get him so they could get LeBron. Like, do y'all realize LeBron is 40 years old, man? He ain't gonna play but 1 or 2 more years. So you're gonna mortgage your entire future for a nigga that's gonna play 1 or 2 years with you. That makes no sense whatsoever. And people just say shit. This is not 2K. Like, you can't turn on that fucking game and make trades and do crazy shit and expect it to work out. Like, it's crazy.
Honestly, though, like that's that whole premise sounds like something a Hawks fan would say, right? Like, just there's just a lot of people that live in your city that don't know shit about sports.
Mm-mm.
It-
Man,
you're in a major, what do they call it? You're in a large media outlet. I forget what it's called. Large market, right? Atlanta is a big market, and but that's for sports.
these
But
niggas don't know
people
shit.
do not know anything about. It's like South Florida. Like, people who live in South Florida don't know shit about sports.
Like nothing. Everything is just like biased from it sucks, man. Like, because there's no real Hawks fan. Like, let's just be honest. There are no real Hawks fans.
Right. Yeah.
I've been here for a long time. Niggas went to Hawks games for the other team that was playing. If Kobe was coming to town, niggas is going to the game. If Allen Iverson coming to town, niggas going to the game. Like T Mac, so on and so forth.
Yep.
Niggas was going to the games for the other team.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until like Joe Johnson got there where niggas got some type of pride about the team. Like they were a perennial playoff team, and then niggas started taking a little bit of pride in the team. But that was pretty much it.
Right.
Everything after that, like, get the fuck out of here. There's more real Falcon fans than Hawks fans. Like, niggas like the Falcons here. I'm not gonna lie about that. But
Right.
the Hawks, niggas went there for the other team. I remember that. So I don't take nothing them niggas say serious for real.
Yeah. Now I know a lot of white people from Atlanta, and they know about baseball, right? Because they're hardcore Braves fans.
Them too. Like the Braves have real fans too. Like,
yeah, Braves, like, and that fan base is massive because there wasn't baseball really. That was the most only southern city that had baseball for a long time. So
yeah,
that fan base,
real fans. And the Braves done won some shit before too. Like, they the only major sports team that's really done some shit.
Yeah.
From Atlanta. So yeah, and they recently won. So
right.
yeah, the Braves got real fans, but the Hawks, nigga, I was like y'all when Mookie Blaylock and fucking Dikembe Mutombo was running around in Atlanta, like niggas didn't care about the Hawks. They playing at the Omni Center and all that. Like niggas didn't care about the Hawks then. Y'all not gonna fool me, man. So yeah, y'all can have LeBron or whatever else. Y'all that ain't even gonna equal no championship. Like LeBron playing, like he ain't even win a championship for a better team. The Lakers right now are better than the Hawks.
Yeah. Right.
So you think he gonna come to Atlanta and deliver a championship? I mean, like, what's the goal?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Justin, you got to stop talking to these people with these what do they call it, room temperature IQs.
I'm using that.
Because you're not going to make them smarter. They're only going to make you dumber.
Oh my god, man! I've been dealing with that so much lately. Like niggas be saying the most outrageous shit. I told you about the Michael Jordan, DeMar DeRozan thing, and like, yo, why am I even responding to this? Like, this shit is below my pay grade for real. Like, I really shouldn't even be entertaining this shit, but I can't help it, man. And I think niggas know that too, so they play off of that. They're like, oh, he gonna respond. He gonna give me the energy. So I can't help it, man. I still got a little fire in me. Maybe it's by the time I get 40, it'll die down a little bit, and I won't care as much.
You got to remember, just a lot of these guys, you know, their generational rappers are Drake and Kendrick Lamar. That's their generational rappers.
That's a whole nother. Oh my god!
So just know that that's their worldview. It's going to be very different from yours.
Yo, and it's crazy because like you start feeling like the old nigga. Like when the fuck did I become the old nigga?
Hey man, it happens overnight. You just
literally
and realize I sound like my dad right now.
Man, I be catching my, like when I be trying to explain certain things, the niggas, they be looking at me like, huh? I be having to catch myself, especially with that rap shit. Like Drake and this Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing, it was like the best thing these niggas ever seen. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, man? Like, this is nothing. Like, this shit is nothing. This is so light in comparison to what we grew up on. Like, come on, man.
And Biggie and Tupac,
like niggas died. Like,
yeah, but like even before, like the diss back and forth and the videos and I fucked your wife, like
yeah, that.
God, I heard that Tupac diss track. I was pissed, and I wasn't even involved.
Yeah, like these niggas have no idea. Like I was young at the time. I probably was like when the East Coast West Coast shit was going on. I probably was like 9, 10. But I was living up there. You know what I'm saying? I was living in Connecticut at the time, so that shit was like right there. Like,
yeah.
So just seeing that and being a part of that, and I still remember when Tupac got killed and Biggie got killed. I remember all that shit vividly. So like to see all that and then like to know where it is now, it's like, this is cute. You know what I mean? Like that shit was real. Like you felt like you literally felt like something could happen at any time.
Yeah, pretty outrageous. But everybody's in their soft guy era now. So
basketball, rap, just just the pussification of America is what I call it.
Your number one NFL draft pick ended his press conference with the Bears. Like,
Thank you, everybody.
listen, that and the way I'm going to say this is not even derogatory. That's some of the gayest shit I have ever seen. Period. That's some of the gayest shit I have ever seen. Period.
With the nails painted, like
Listen, listen, and that's not even a derogatory. That's just it's literally gay. Like, so anyway,
when your franchise quarterbacks are painting their nails, man, it's like, what the hell is going on, man?
it's a brave new world. It's a brave new world. You got 30-year-old gymnasts like Tashina was telling me today that one of the older gymnasts is like qualified for the Olympics. Gabby Douglas, like the 2008 Olympics. Like she's like 30. She like qualified for the team. She's like on the Olympic team this year. Simone's coming back, like which no, it doesn't. Simone's in it. It doesn't matter. She's gonna kill everybody again. But
yeah, I remember Gabby Douglas. Hell yeah, she won too.
yeah, she won a gold. I think it was 2008 or 2012.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
But yeah, I was shocked because like usually once you hit like 21, you too old. Like you age out. That's but
for gymnastics for sure.
I mean, Simone Biles, this is what her 7th Olympics or some shit.
Simone Biles is a whole different beast though. Like
you just like I'm saying this modern medicine, man. Like these are new athletes. You know, you got LeBron James the way he's playing. You know, you got Simone what she's doing. Like this modern medicine, man. Like these athletes are next level.
Yeah. Was that Jason Whitlock that was saying like Simone Biles wish she was as famous as Caitlin Clark? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Simone Biles is a fucking Olympic gold medalist. Like she's known internationally. Now I fuck with Caitlin Clark and all, but nigga, you can't compare the fame of Simone Biles to Caitlin Clark. Simone Biles is known all over the world. There's some countries, if you ask who the fuck Caitlin Clark is, they don't know. Like,
right. I think, well, first of all, Jason Whitlock, I feel about him the way you feel about like Skip Bayless. Like that dude is just trash. He's just straight trash.
I feel the same way.
But I think that there was this whole thing where her guy went on the Pivot podcast with like Fred Taylor and them and was saying he was the prize and like
I remember
this shit, and it was like, nigga, she was famous when you met her. She was more famous than you when you met her. Like
I don't even know who the nigga is. I just know he played for the Packers.
I don't know his name. I can't remember him by name because I don't know his name.
Right. I don't know him. I just know he played for the Packers.
In the NFL, so that means you are an elite athlete making really good money. I know that. That's all I know.
That's it.
So, and there was this whole thing where, and it's like, bro, like you're not helping us out. We already in here, like in our cases, you in a long-term relationship, I'm married, and we still in the gender war somehow. We trying to keep the peace. Like, I'll calm the fuck down and have some babies. That solves the problem, right? Work together instead of working against each other. We'll get further. We'll have more money that way. But when that interview happened, I'm like, nigga, like you're not helping your cause, and you're not helping us because everybody knows that she's more famous than you. She's making way more money than you. Like you are the Stedman in this relationship. I don't care how much the NFL is paying you.
and you're not overcoming that deficit either. Like it's done. Like you're not. You got to be Tom Brady type, shit to even think about. And he probably not even on the level of Simone Biles, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. In the United States, he is, but not around the world.
Right, exactly. So yeah. Like I said, I don't even know the nigga name. I don't even know his name.
I'm not looking it up either because that's the whole point of this conversation.
Yeah, and to look him up, you have to say Simone Biles' nigga. So, who is this nigga?
Listen, if you're listening to this and you are white, I do not recommend you type in your profile in your bar. Simone.
Simone Biles, this nigga.
Only do that if you're black. Don't do that if you're white. Just
Add
find
to your search bar.
the info. Ah,
Yeah, it's yo.
now that was good. That was good. How do we get on this? This is a basketball show.
Yeah, I don't know. But you reminded me. You reminded me though. We still got to do that relationship show. Like
Oh,
I'm gonna tag everybody in again and get their availability for the show because that has to be talked about. Ben, I don't know if we completely off topic on the basketball shit,
that's fine.
but I don't know if you've seen it. There's this balloon pop show on YouTube. It's called Balloon Pop Dating.
Yeah.
I've like me and me and Kanzi watch the episodes all the time. Like
Oh, okay.
these, like if you look it up on YouTube, it's called Balloon Pop Dating. You just type that in, and all the episodes will come up. Her name is like Alexa something. I
Okay.
forgot her name, but her channel has all the episodes, and you can watch them. These people, like you really get an understanding of why people fail so much in relationships. Like it's the most superficial shit. Like you talking about people popping. Like the object of the show is when somebody comes out, there's a whole line of people with balloons in their hand, right?
Hmm.
When they come out, first of all, sometimes when they walk out, niggas start popping the balloons off rip. Like when you pop the balloon, that means I'm not interested. Like
Got Yep.
I'm out. I'm out of the running for them to pick me.
Hmm.
So sometimes when they walk out, the balloon pop, 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 which is the most embarrassing shit for somebody who's just walking out. Like that means you're just ugly as shit. Like
You're done.
we don't even care what you got to say. Like so then when you get to the like they start talking and telling people their likes and dislikes and all their history and what they do for a living and this, that, and the third, they get into all that stuff, and then people are popping balloons because of somebody's outfit, and it's just it's crazy. Like you have to watch it. Like you'll have a more of an understanding when you actually tune into it. But it'd be the most crazy shit. Like some of the shit is legitimate. Like when they say like, "Oh, if you got kids, I don't want to be involved," and this might pop their balloon. Like, all right, I got kids, so obviously you don't want me.
Right.
But some of this shit is so superficial though. Like, I don't like what you got on, so I pop. Like, what? But they met every other thing that you were looking for in a partner.
Yeah. We got to have that relationship show because I have so many thoughts
Yeah,
about
we
this.
gonna do it, man. Like that's what I'm saying. I gotta have the women on here that single, married. I need different perspectives to see how people deal with certain things. So we definitely gonna get into that. Hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, this has been a good show. We got off, went off on a tangent.
Indeed, we did.
But yeah, I guess we gonna wrap this one up and watch the rest of this Boston and Indiana game, even though I think this shit might be over. Boston might have control.
Yeah. Cool, man. Until next time.
Anyway, man. Yes, sir, man. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Fly Free Sports, another successful episode. My co-host Ben. We will be back, man. Better every time. Better every time, improving. So even through the technical difficulties, you know what I'm saying? My man had to use his phone tonight, you know what I'm saying? So
Gotta make it happen.
you gotta make it happen, regardless. Rain, sleet, hail, or snow. You know what I mean? So we here, locked in. It's been another week, man. We signing out.